Huh? Took me 2 years to pick this thing up. Freaking scalpers. Buying every single graphics card from the actual fans. Like myself. Right? Anyways. Today, we're going to talk about lighting. Alright, first decision. Backlight on, backlight off, right? On, off. I think I'm gonna go with off because I'm gonna try to make a little more dramatic video, okay? So guys, let's talk about lighting, right? So recently I came across one of my friends who also wanted to start a YouTube channel, go figure, because I was literally talking about being part of a community who also does videos and content creation together. So what better it is that one of my friends comes up to me and asks, hey man, how do I set up lighting? Well, this video is gonna be for him, and this video is gonna be for a lot of people who have similar questions as him, okay? To cut the story short, the two light of choice that I use is the 120D Mark II with the Light Dome Mark II. This is something I bought 2 years ago and is still running strong and sharp. I got it for about 400 bucks from YouTube, from Facebook Marketplace, and it was one of the best deals I found. The reason why I like it, it's a strong light, and it's, you can throw on a Light Dome Mark II on it, and the diffusion on the light is exquisite, okay? It's a really big light dome, and it's literally a few inches away from my face, and the way it diffuses light and makes you look, and the way it diffuses into your skin tone is absolutely perfect. Add on to that, you can add something a little oomph in the back. I would say, see that little yellow light back there? I got it from IKEA. This thing is about 20 bucks. Guys, you can set the vibe much easier. Look, you turn it off, you see the warmth is missing. All you see is just black and white, but you just add a little bit of warmth, right? It makes a huge difference. And that doesn't have to be the only thing you can use. Like, you can have so many ideas. I'll show you another one, okay? So, I have another light that I love using. I do take it on a lot of my product photography. This is also a light from Aputure. This thing is strong, makes it look a little scary. But what I'll say is, let's just see, when I switch out with this, with something in the back, you can literally take this out, and you see a little orange hue back there, right? I'm gonna leave it there for now because it looks super cool. I don't get a chance to use that light too much recently because I'm doing more portraits, right? So, again, this is the Light Dome 2, then this is also the Aputure 120D Mark II. If you guys like the way this thing diffuses, if you guys like the way this thing looks, I highly recommend it. This was my first light, and I used it to make I used to do a lot of my photographies, and I also used it to do my first YouTube video, and obviously I'm doing the second YouTube video expressing to you guys that you guys can have a professional grade lighting with very minimal cost. Now let's take a look at the direct comparison between the Light Dome Mark II along with the 120D Mark II in comparison to Amaran 100D along with the Light Dome SE. I'm just gonna let you guys take a look. Everything's still the same. The focal length on my lens and the light dome and even on the actual temperature settings on the light was exactly the same. But one thing I noticed, I did have to tone down the intensity level on the light, whereas on my Light Dome 2, it was on about 62%, and whereas on this Amaran 100D, I had to lower it down to about 28%. So the intensity, I had to match it based on what it would look like in terms of exposure on my skin. So when Zebra showed up for either one, I went ahead and exposed it to the exact same intensity. But the intensity on this light is much more in comparison to the 120D Mark II, whereas the intensity kicks in at a much higher frequency, or you can say temperature on the light, right? So I'll let you guys decide. I'll give you different angles on my face so you can take a look and make the perfect comparison for you. Light coming from this way. So then let's move the camera. All right, So before I let go of the video, and I wanna make sure that you guys understand where everything is, because I know when I first started recording, one of my biggest questions was, where do I place the light, right? That's something most YouTubers do not cover. I wanna give you a quick recap. Well, guys, look, if you see, the light is quite literally right here. I sit down right here, correct? So when I sit down, the light is as close as possible to me. Even when I'm standing, the light has to be angled in a way you wanna light up your face and make sure the diffusion makes you look as presentable as possible, because remember, presentation is key, and you wanna get your message across to all of your fans out there, or even fans out there, right? So I'm gonna give you some other options for lights. Remember I said in the beginning, the light gives your video the most life. It gives you a little warmth, right? I got my Nanlite Pavotube. This is something I used a lot for my product photos. It's very helpful. If I want to do a shoot of a car, this is something I use. The diffusion on this thing, the power on this thing, it lasts forever. I do have some other cheaper options that I will be putting down below. I want to make sure you guys have all the resources and all the options to choose from when you want to get your video started, right? I want to be very transparent on everything that I use, and I want to make sure you have the opportunity to use it as well and do the content you love out there, okay? Perfect, guys. We're gonna finish off the conclusion of this video just by telling you that I'm gonna let you guys decide which light you like better. I personally think the diffusion of the 120D Mark II and the bigger light dome always does a better thing for me. I love the way it looks, even slightly better. Of course, that's always subjective, whatever it is that you like. If I was to give you a recommendation, I would say definitely go with the one that's bigger light dome. Light, it does matter, but not to the extent of the size of the light dome, because you want the light to be spread out more evenly throughout your face, okay? Without less harsh lighting, because you want to look as presentable, right? In terms of background lighting or that little yellow oomph, like I said in the beginning, you can either use a little light lamp from IKEA. You could even use the light I said in the beginning, which is going to be the Aputure. A light, it's about $100, but this thing is really, the way it puts out light and the color, I personally like it more than the more, what's the word? The more generic brands, I guess you could say, but there are cheaper versions of this that I'm also gonna put a link down to it. Like, I do have another cheaper version. This thing cost about $30 in comparison to the $100 that I spent on this light, because I really wanted to make a comparison. I wanted to see if I could save money or use a cheaper option. But all this will be linked down below. I just wanted you guys to see that there is an easy way to light these situations, especially when it comes to YouTube. I honestly think you just need a good camera, a really versatile camera, and you need one key light and just a little oomph light in the back, and then that should be enough for you to go ahead and get started on YouTube and look as presentable as possible. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you guys can use these two lights as a baseline on what you need to look at. Personally, I looked at all the different types of lights like Godox and a couple of other more generic companies. I looked at even newer lights, a lot of different kinds. Trust me, I did my research. But in comparison to Aputure, I just still like the way Aputure diffuses lights across your face. And that's the reason I'm recommending it. And mind you, I'm not sponsored anyway. The reason I'm recommending these products is because I spend my own hard money on this, and I just love the results it puts out. So guys, I hope this short video this week really helped you out. Again, Z out. Peace, stay safe.